And we're also joined on the panel by Richard Brodsky, former New York Assemblyman and a full member of the media now, whether he likes to admit it or not. Yes, exactly. All right. Obviously, it's been called, no shocker there. What is going to be the most interesting number that you'll get out of it? Is it going to be the margin? Is it going to be where the votes came from? Is it going to be the Green Party?
All of those things. We have a lot to talk
Yes.
about. I think for the governor, this will be a satisfying but not particularly ebullient and joyful evening. He had 10 times the money that Rob Astorino had. He was the incumbent. He had done a number of things very well. And I think his decision to move hard Republican right on economic policy cost him in the Democratic primary. I think it cost him in the general election. It's a dispirited Democratic electorate. But you know, I've won and I've lost. Winning is better. And I think that's the bottom line.
Well, probably the most interesting math at the end will be the state Senate and the IDC and where they're going to go. What have you heard?
Well, I'm not so sure that's the most interesting. I really think the Cuomo numbers are the most interesting. The Senate numbers may be the most important. There are two races that are sort of boiled down to the question of who controls, and that's the race in the Buffalo area, and right here in the Hudson Valley, the Wagner-Murphy race. People are on both sides of the issue. No one knows what's going on. Anyone who tells you they know what's going on doesn't know what's going on. We're going to have to be patient and wait.
What are you hearing?
Listen, as far as the Senate's concerned, after tonight, we're going to have no answers, okay? The negotiating will begin, unless the Republicans pull it off and are able to win this outright without any recounts. So first of all, there could be recounts. Second of all, if they're not, and the Republicans don't pull it off, they're going to need to negotiate with Jeff Klein and the IDC, and that could go on for well into the new year.
No, one's got clients, the other one used to be part of it. You could be agnostic here. Is it good or bad for the electorate here that this IDC or this group, in effect, will find the best deal, pick the right folks to caucus with? I can argue that for 4 years it seemingly has worked better than prior to the past 4 years in terms of getting stuff done. He may not like all the stuff that has gotten through, but is it better for New Yorkers overall the way this process has worked?
Well, it depends on your perspective and what you want out of government, right? Look, I think in general when people vote for a candidate in a legislature, they're voting not just for the individual, they're voting for a team. They're voting in the expectation that one or the other party is going to have a majority. The values and priorities of that party are going to be expressed in governance. And so I think there is a responsibility for individual candidates to honor that message that's being sent by voters. So all things being equal, I think people who are elected as Democrats ought to caucus as Democrats. Now, not all things are always equal, and there may be unusual circumstances which lead a particular office holder to look in a different direction. But I think it's likely that the IDC will come back to the Democratic fold. Certainly its members have made a commitment to doing so. And if Democrats hold their own in the Senate elections, as I hope they will, then I think there's going to be a Democratic majority, and we'll have Andrea Stewart-Cousins leading the state Senate.
Is that the commitment the IDC made, or did they agree to caucus with the Democrats if the Democrats got more people elected tonight into the state Senate? I'm not sure it was as nakedly, we're definitely going with the Democrats. Well, I think there's still a little hedge room.
I wasn't in the room when the deal was struck, but my impression has always been that if candidates with a D after their name win a majority of the races in this election, that the IDC is going to be with the Democratic caucus.
I think that was the understanding. I agree that that was the understanding. I don't know that if today that's exactly the understanding, given the fact that the mainline Democrats ran a primary against Jeff Klein, against Jeff Klein and Avella. So two of their people had some primaries.
That is a complicating factor. But if you listen like a lawyer, which unfortunately I do, to what Jeff said, he said that he would caucus with them if they had a majority. Now, whether that meant a majority with the IDC members or without them, and how you calculate someone like Mark Grisanti, who if he wins is going to caucus with the IDC, is he a Republican? I don't think you're going to settle this by parsing out what was said 6 months ago. I think it's going to be a live dynamic and a negotiation. And I think you're right, we're not going to know for months.
Let me bring in one of the best political reporters in New York, from Capital New York, Jimmy Vielkind. Jimmy, we know they called it for the governor. What else are you hearing in terms of some of the closer races, which way they're trending right now?
Against working people will not work.
Well, we're hearing with regard to Attorney General Eric Scheidemann that he's heading for a 55% win, and everyone expects that Tom DiNapoli, the comptroller, perhaps one of the lesser-known offices on the ticket, could win by the largest margin of any of the statewide Democrats. So Cuomo is heading for a victory that's expected to be a little less than 55%. One of the governor's own advisors, Hank Scheinkopf, on Monday said that he expected Cuomo to win with about 50 to 52% of the vote. I expect it to be a little bit higher, closer to 53 or 54%, and that's in part because Cuomo is being attacked on both sides, facing Astorino as well as the Green Party candidate Howie Hawkins.
Hey, Jimmy, in terms of some of the tighter House races, whether it's the 1st down on Long Island or the 18th in New York, or let alone we've been talking around the table here about the state Senate, any first guessing how they're going to shake out?
We need to make sure that women get equal treatment.
It seems that the Democrats are here at this party are confident, but I've heard